Hey everyone, it's Jennifer Roberts and I am the Podqueen. And so we're continuing answering questions, which I love to do. And I want to talk a little bit about a question that was brought up. Do I think that women should only stay home and be moms? That's the question that was asked. And I guess it ties in a little bit with feminism, which I kind of addressed in one of my videos. And so I just want to take a minute and tell you, just my journey into motherhood. Now, I honestly did not want to have children. At first, I didn't even want to get married. So that's already like, what? Crazy. And I was not the girl who dreamt about getting married her whole life. I wanted to just go and storm the nations of the earth. When I was younger, I wanted to be a fashion designer. That was my plan. I wanted to move to Paris and work in the fashion industry. And I didn't care at all if I would ever get married. And so when I became a believer, marriage would be something I would be interested in, but I thought, when I'm 30 or so, way down the road. And then I wasn't sure that I ever really wanted to have children. That was kind of my starting point. And so I didn't validate motherhood for a very long time. I thought it was weird when women had already decided their children's names before they were even in a relationship. I just was like, what? What are you people talking about? Like, I knew girls that had bought baby clothes before they were married. And I just was never that kind of girl. And so I didn't want to be that kind of girl either. So I just assumed people that wanted to have babies were weird. And now of course, I had 3 babies, and those babies are 19, 17, and 13. So they grew up and stuff. And when I got married, which was a miracle, and then Dwayne and I said, okay, we'll wait 5 years to have children. So at the 4.5-year mark, Dwayne says, okay, let's have a baby. And I said, it's not 5 years. He goes, no, I was thinking we would have a baby by the time we were married 5 years. I'm like, what? I didn't think so. And so we were like in conflict about this. So we ended up getting pregnant and having a baby, okay? Now, I actually loved having my daughter. It healed a part of my heart that I didn't know was broken. I realized when I held my daughter for the first time that my own mother loved me. I had, grown and had begun to question whether, her love for me was real just through various circumstances and all of that. And the first time I held my daughter, I felt such intense love for her that I knew that my mom loved me. And because I knew this love that I felt for this baby girl was never going to go away. And so I saw the beauty of motherhood for the first time. And I saw the responsibility of motherhood that, I wanted to go and do radical things for Christ and, storm the nations, disciple the nations, lead people to Jesus. But in my own home was an eternal being that the Lord had entrusted me with. And I felt the fear of the Lord on that, like, whoa, this is intense. This is a big responsibility. I mean, I could have thousands of people that say I led them to the Lord and discipled them, but if my own daughter doesn't have something good to say about me discipling her, then wow, I don't really care about the 1,000 if I look at my one and that one isn't happy. You know what I mean? And so I saw the beauty of motherhood for the first time. I saw how the Lord was teaching me so much through it. I was learning about His heart as I fell in love with my baby girl, as I looked at her and loved her just because. She didn't do anything for me. I mean, I had to do everything for her. That lazy little thing, I had to feed her, I had to bathe her, I had to change her diapers. She did nothing for me but cry and wake me up in the middle of the night multiple times. So the very fact that a child comes in demanding something of you and not giving anything to you, they can't even smile for 2 months, right? You do everything for them, but you love it. I loved it. I loved to serve her. I loved to take care of her. And not because it was meeting my needs, but because I was exploding with love for her. And so I want to validate motherhood. I think it's a beautiful thing. I think it's incredible. I love the privilege of being a mother. Now, do I believe every woman has to be a mother? No, I don't. Do I believe that a woman has to stay home only with their children? I actually don't. And so I had seasons where I was 100% at home with my children and seasons where I was out a few hours a week also. And so I think learning the ebb and flow of what your children need at the time is you have to actually be dependent on the Holy Spirit. And so motherhood was a gift and is a gift to me, but I think that I can be a mother and I can actually work outside the home and still be a good mother. I know many people that have jobs outside the home and they're great moms. When they return from a long, hard day at work, they get right in the trenches with their children and they appreciate the precious moments that they had with their kids. Before they go to bed, as they're making dinners, they're getting things ready. And they're in the season where I was home all day with my kids. I didn't always appreciate it because it was hard. And so sometimes a little time away causes you to appreciate the joy of motherhood in a way that being there all day long causes you to take it for granted because it's exhausting. So I want to validate both sides of the coin. That a working mother loves her children, of course she does. That a stay-at-home mom loves her children, of course she does. How you walk out motherhood is between you and your husband and between you and the Lord. You figure that out. The Bible does not make it clear whether you have to stay home or whether you have to work. This is when we depend on the Holy Spirit, and as a husband and wife, you work out these details together. But what I don't want is either side to judge each other. That's not okay. It's hard being a mom. Even if you're, staying at home all day or if you're working all day, it's just hard. So let's fight for each other and not accuse each other who's better in the process. That's what the Podqueen thinks.